Thanks to first-hand accounts, this program tells the story of women who've been part of Italy's Camorra Mafia. Some chose to collaborate and are now protected in secret locations. Other women opted not to collaborate with the state and are currently serving their full sentences in jail.
I'm Anna Carrino, and I'm a justice collaborator. I was Francesco Bidognetti's partner for 30 years. He was an important mafia boss in Principe. I'm happy I chose to collaborate with the state. The only thing I will regret until the day I die is that I had to abandon my children.
Anna Carrino wasn't just an ordinary woman of the Camorra. She was one of the protagonists of the most important and dreaded criminal organizations in Italy, the Casalesi clan. This clan will force Anna to leave Naples, the city where she was born and where everything began.
Anna is a true Neapolitan. She was born in the heart of the city, the hilly area, which is called Capodimonte.
Anna never had the opportunity to get to know her hometown, especially not during her childhood.
I never got a chance to experience Naples. I was sent to a boarding school when I was 2 with my sisters and my brother. I remember spending my childhood with the nuns.
Her mother was forced to send her children to boarding school because she had to raise them on her own. It wasn't an easy childhood. No one ever hugged her or kissed her goodnight. She went back home to her mother when she was a teenager, and that's when the fatal encounter happened.
At a very young age, Anna meets Francesco Bidognetti, a friend of the family. She starts dating him without telling her mother.
I didn't ask many questions in the beginning. He always gave me many gifts. I didn't notice anything odd about him. A 14-year-old girl is unable to understand certain things. He was much older than I was. He was 29 years old. He was always well-dressed. He was a gentleman, and he was very kind. I fell in love with him because I didn't have a father figure in my life. If I asked for something, he would just give it to me, just like a father would have. My true father never acted like that because my parents had separated.
Within a very short period of time, that elegant and kind man wins Anna's heart. She doesn't suspect anything. She's still too young to know who Francesco Bidognetti really is.
At that stage, Francesco Bidognetti was already a notorious criminal. He lived in hiding and had been forced to leave his hometown, Casal di Principe.
Casal di Principe is a small town 30 kilometers away from Naples. In the early 80s, Bidognetti joined Antonio Bardellino's clan, one of the most dreaded and dangerous bosses across the Campania region.
Francesco Bidognetti was very close to Antonio Bardellino. Bardellino was like a second father to him. During that time, Antonio Bardellino was a leading member, not only of the Camorra, but also of the Mafia in general.
Bardellino was the only one in that criminal organization who was also a member of the Cosa Nostra.
Bardellino had an incredible intuition for business and had the Sicilian Mafia's support. This is why he and his men accumulated heaps of money. But business skills aren't enough to control the territory. He also needs men who know how to use a gun. Men like Francesco Bidognetti.
Francesco Bidognetti was a ruthless killer. He used to talk about ambushes and weapons as if it were something absolutely normal.
Anna loves him too much to see who that man really is. Their love affair must be kept a secret. Anna is still underage, and her mother would never accept their relationship. There is another important matter. Bidognetti is married.
He told me that he was married and that he needed a woman since his wife was ill. She was bedridden.
He sees Anna as his creation. He shaped her. She was clay in his hands, a little girl who wasn't formed yet, someone through whom you could write your own story. Francesco Bidognetti wrote his story through Anna.
The moment of truth has arrived. In December 1981, the police arrest Bidognetti. Anna finally realizes who her lover really is. But it's too late to go back now. In the meantime, she has discovered something. She is pregnant with his child. Anna hides her pregnancy from her family up until it is not possible anymore.
The pain becomes unbearable, so she goes to the bathroom and she can feel her daughter's head starting to come out. She realizes she's about to give birth, so she asks her brother to bring her to the hospital. Her mother's world falls apart when she sees Anna and that little girl. She understands it's Francesco Bidognetti's daughter.
In jail, Bidognetti finds out that Anna has given birth to a child and makes her move to his parents' house at Casal di Principe. Here, she'll lead a different life than the one she knew.
When I got to Casal di Principe, I noticed the yard and the house were huge. It was like moving into a castle. A totally different lifestyle from the one that I was accustomed to.
Anna expects to be welcomed like a daughter, but she soon faces the strict rules of the Bidognetti family.
As soon as I walked in, they told me what I had to do. I wasn't allowed to walk around town wearing a miniskirt. I wasn't supposed to look people in the eyes. I had to be very careful about who I talked to. There was a huge difference between life in Naples and that town.
Bidognetti's mother, Mrs. Cristina, forces her to obey the rules. A very tough period begins for Anna.
Anna immediately realized she had become a slave. Mrs. Cristina told her what to do around the house. Anna wasn't even allowed to take care of her own daughter, Katia. Mrs. Cristina took over.
Mrs. Cristina wanted to put Anna in her place. She didn't want that girl to even exist. The control over the clan was at stake.
I was afraid of her. That woman frightened me. She was very possessive of her son. All mothers of Camorra men are like that. When their son goes to jail, they take over and start controlling the situation. If a new woman shows up, they're afraid of losing their power.
Anna has to bite the bullet and wait for her man to come home. But she's going to have to wait for a long time. In 1987, after 6 full years, Bidognetti is released from prison.
When I found out that he would be placed under house arrest, I idealized him and the situation. I was expecting Prince Charming.
Quando uno si aspetta il principe azzurro, no?
That first night was amazing. There was a strong intimacy between the two of us. But there was one thing I couldn't get out of my head. I kept thinking about my mother-in-law. I was afraid of her. So when I woke up, I told him about the situation. He understood. So that morning, he spoke to his mother. There was a big argument. He told her he would go away if she didn't leave the house. So she decided to leave. I benefited from the situation.
A victory for Anna. With his mother aside, he introduces her to other clan members. Francesco Schiavone, known as Sandokan, is among them. He's one of the bosses too.
Suddenly I felt important.
Now Anna is the only woman in Bidognetti's life. The only woman of one of the most important men in the Casalesi clan.
I knew he was part of the Camorra and a respected person, but I never asked him what he did all day and how he made his money. He told me never to ask him anything because he couldn't tell me anyway. In his opinion, the less women knew, the better.
Le donne quando più poco sanno, meglio è.
It's a golden period for them. For 2 years, they live like a normal couple. They have 2 more children, born out of love.
They loved the idea of having a family together. That's all she ever wanted.
The peace in Casal di Principe is destined to end. A bloody season is about to begin for the clan. The boss, Antonio Bardellino, moved to South America to pursue some business matters. A fatal mistake for a boss. Francesco Schiavone takes advantage of his absence to gain control of the clan.
Francesco Schiavone is the one who suffers under his leader's charisma more than anyone else. So he decides to organize Bardellino's death.
All'omicidio di Bardellino.
Francesco Schiavone sent his men all the way to Brazil. That's where the Casalesi boss is killed, at the hands of his own men.
Il tradimento è un denominatore comune, un po' a tutti i clan.
Betrayal is a common denominator in every Camorra clan, especially in the Casalesi clan. They have tried to kill each other on many occasions.
C'è sempre stato un momento in cui
For them, it was normal.
fare fuori l'altro.
Bidognetti sembra essere colui
It seems as if Bidognetti went along with someone else's project here.
progetti.
He realized things were changing.
Prende che evidentemente il vento sta cambiando e
He supported whatever was the most promising project within the clan.
autoritario e vincente all'interno del clan.
Facciamo allargare.
Killing the boss isn't enough to take control. They have to kill all of his men too.
Per prendere
They begin an actual war in order to take over.
una vera e propria guerra.
Schiavone and Bidognetti are the new bosses of the Casalesi clan. They control a criminal empire that keeps on growing. They inherit a multi-million turnover.
Il clan ha le imprese di calcestruzzo,
The clan owns concrete companies, as well as companies that manage
come
construction.
dire, della fabbricazione di
They also own companies that deal with soil-moving machinery.
occupano del movimento terra.
The clan is in complete control of the construction
In
industry.
maniera radicale e completa tutto il ciclo dell'edilizia. Il clan ha sempre avuto
The clan has always been good at making money in business affairs.
e agli affari. Questo
That's what makes the Casalesi clan special.
di Casalesi.
Schiavone and Bidognetti become rich beyond belief. In the early 90s, the Casalesi clan generates a turnover of about 15 billion euros. Their power and flourishing business attract the authorities' attention. Bidognetti knows he's a wanted person, so he decides to go into hiding.
He received an arrest warrant, but he stayed in Casal di Principe. When Camorra men go into hiding, they don't go to Milan or Modena. They stay in their hometown because they can rely on many people helping them. Sometimes people would come to pick me up and bring me to him. Sometimes I wouldn't see him for a fortnight or even a month. I was so happy to see him during our romantic getaways.
She felt she completely belonged to this man, but she also knew he felt the same for her. She talks about a great love story. She was so in love with this man.
But that man, the father of her children, is ruthless. In the course of these years, Bidognetti gets involved in the business of illegal disposal of toxic waste. In accord with the Camorra, northern Italian companies send every type of waste material to Naples.
Everything would come from northern Italian companies that wanted to illegally unload their material and not use authorized disposal sites.
He told me they had started a company that dealt with garbage and that they threw it into a pit. He never talked about toxic waste. I knew nothing about that. I knew that he earned lots of money with this garbage. He had earned a rather large amount of money.
A huge turnover that convinces the police to take action. In 1993, after being on the run for 2 years, Bidognetti is arrested. He is sentenced to a tough prison regime. A restrictive measure that forever changes his relationship with Anna.
It's not easy to communicate in that kind of situation. You can only talk to close family members once a month. These conversations are always recorded.
My children and I went to go visit him once a month. There was always this glass between us. We weren't allowed any kind of physical contact. I couldn't even touch his hand.
For Bidognetti, it's not just about love. Those conversations are essential to control the clan.
Bidognetti needed to send messages. He needed someone to help him. Anna plays an important role. She becomes the messenger for Bidognetti's orders. To maintain the existing chain of command, he depends on her.
They would make certain insinuations or gestures. For example, if they touched their shoulder, they were talking about Alessandro Cirillo, known as the Sergeant, a leading man within the group. They also used to touch their own faces very often. In this case, we believed they were talking about Schiavone.
Her role was essential in order to guarantee the chain of command within the Bidognetti clan.
Anna is no longer just a spectator. The clan's future now also depends on her. Ten years have gone by since Bidognetti had been arrested. In the meantime, Anna's children have grown up. Her power has also grown in the course of these years. Anna is treated like a queen in Casal di Principe.
I had everything I asked for and a lot of money. I had everyone's respect. Everyone used to call me the boss's wife or Ananina, madam. Everyone in Casal di Principe respected me. Everyone who came to the house.
The
Casalesi clan is the biggest mafia organization at that time, probably even more powerful than the Sicilian organizations. She and her children profit from this situation.
Anna continues to communicate Bidognetti's orders, but now she also manages the family's money.
In casa nostra entravano tantissimi soldi.
A lot of money came into our house.
Il clan.
I didn't control the clan, but he did ask me to pay all the members and the lawyers who worked for him. That was my job. That was the situation I was in. That was the way I kept my hand in it.
E questa era la situazione che io tenevo in mano.
Deve gestire la famiglia.
She had to manage the family, but in this case, it meant handling the illegal income that Bidognetti's family earned while he was still in prison.
Bidognetti, che nel frattempo è detenuto.
Bene, allora
So, is everything all right?
è tutto a posto.
We got the job.
Riceverà tanti soldi,
The clan was rich,
tanti soldi.
allowing her to live a very luxurious life.
Naturalmente, come dire, agiatissima.
Money and esteem are the two things that aren't missing in her life. As time goes by, she starts to feel like a prisoner of the clan, though.
Anna is a woman who loves life, but she lived in a gilded cage. She had all the clothes and jewelry she wanted.
Lei poteva avere tutti i vestiti del mondo, tutti i gioielli.
She had all the fur coats she wanted.
Tutte le pellicce del mondo.
But she told me she didn't know what to do with them.
Ma io non sapevo che farci. Io non potevo andare una sera.
She couldn't go out for dinner or lunch. She couldn't go to clubs. She couldn't do anything because she was Bidognetti's wife. So she couldn't leave the house.
E in quanto moglie di Bidognetti non mi potevo muovere.
Something else worries Anna. After being on the run for years, Francesco Schiavone has been arrested too. He's not the only one. Over the past years, many leading men of the clan have been arrested. These arrests lead to the first repentance.
The
situation was getting out of control. Some of these men started collaborating and explaining how the clan was organized.
The information they give is likely to affect Bidognetti's situation. He could get life imprisonment if sentenced again. Now that Bidognetti might not be released from jail, tensions within the family increase more and more.
Some people accused him of making too much money. People started saying they earned €1 million to kill someone, while Bidognetti earns 10 million. Jealousy started spreading within the clan.
In a murderous group like the Casalesi clan, there is only one way to get rid of that jealousy.
Get out of here. Go inside.
I'll shoot you in the head.
People started dying. Both Bidognetti's and Schiavone's men died. 3 here, 4 there. They took turns at killing each other.
Infighting and bloody feuds begin within the clan between Bidognetti's men and members of the Schiavone family. Some leave Bidognetti's side to join Schiavone's clan. The two families break apart.
Anna believes Schiavone, who is in jail, is plotting against his old friend. In fact, he doesn't do as much as move a finger to call his men to order.
I'm sure Sandokan had a plan in mind. He wanted to kill everyone, including Bidognetti's children, in order to become the undisputed leader.
Anna fears for her children's life. She's afraid the war within the clan may well be a threat for them as well.
One day, my son came home crying. He'd had an argument with an older boy. My son told me he was walking down the street when a boy stopped him. His name was Antonio. I asked him what happened, and my son said that he thought this boy wanted to hurt him. The boy started saying bad words about our family, and my son was scared.
This boy was a young carpenter, and it wasn't more than just a simple argument. But Anna was too scared to realize that.
According to the clan's law, she turned to the current man in charge of Bidognetti's clan, Luigi Guida, known as Gigino O Drink.
I asked him to speak with that boy to see what he wanted and why he argued with my son.
Guida was a determined and murderous man. So when Bidognetti's wife asked for his help with this, he felt he couldn't back down. He had to kill that boy.
It was very dramatic. That man felt obliged to do something, and it started a mechanism which led to the death of this boy.
Anna loses control. It's her fault that an innocent boy has died. A few months after this tragedy, another serious blow strikes. Anna discovers in the newspaper that Bidognetti has a lover.
I asked Francesco whether he knew who this person was. He told me never to believe journalists because they tend to invent stories.
But there's no use in making excuses anymore. That woman has been his lover for 20 years, the whole time.
She starts blaming him for everything that had happened. She accuses him of being a terrible father and partner, that she had to live a horrible life full of hardships, and for the decisions he made. She accused him of abusing and betraying her. The worst part for her was finding out that other people knew he had a lover. Her leadership as Bidognetti's partner is crumbling.
For Anna, this is a heavy blow. Her world is falling apart.
I started questioning my life and my partner, what kind of future I could give my children. I asked myself how long the situation could go on for. I even wondered if I could stand going to jail one day.
Anna isn't the only one worried about going to jail. The clan knows the time has come to face justice now.
Life imprisonment and solitary confinement for 2 years for Bidognetti Francesco, Carrino Giuseppe, Iovone Antonio, and Schiavone Francesco.
On September 15th, 2005, Bidognetti is sentenced to life in prison, together with 20 more members of the Casalesi clan. It's a memorable trial that is a backset for the whole organization. A fragile moment, and on top of that, Anna is facing a new distress. Her relationship with Katja, her first daughter.
Anna had Katja when she was still very young, at a time in which Anna was still a child herself, or at least she still wanted to be one. They had a competitive relationship because Katja was Bidognetti's first daughter. And in a way, she was also the son he'd always wanted. Because Katja is a strong, determined person, just like her father.
Their arguments heat up more and more, and then things take the wrong turn.
You're a nobody, don't forget that.
Katja no longer accepts her mother's authority. She's the one who wants to look after the family's money.
Katja tried to take over her mother's role of managing the money that was sent to the family.
Katja tries to override Anna and therefore writes letters to her imprisoned father.
She wrote him letters saying that I was losing my mind and that I was no longer able to deal with the situation.
Bidognetti doesn't trust Anna anymore, so he decides to support his daughter.
I was no longer allowed to manage the family money. They would give the money directly to Katja.
She didn't feel important anymore. I don't even know if she ever did. She wasn't of any help to her partner anymore. In fact, she was beginning to be a risk because she started communicating his messages to the outside world. She started asking herself, why do I do this? For whom? At least she wanted to be held in respect.
After 2 months, I went back to see him. I wanted to reconcile with the family. It wasn't a matter of setting things right between myself and him. I knew the two of us had changed too much for that.
She had lost all of her strength and self-confidence, especially during that last conversation they had. Anna told Bidognetti that she was confused and didn't feel well.
Anna felt pinioned against the wall. Many clan members were going to jail and the family situation had become unbearable. That's when she made a desperate move.
I asked him to collaborate with the state. He told me never to ask him that question again. He said I could leave if I wanted to. He had this expression on his face only I could read. And I immediately understood what he was thinking.
They looked at each other without talking. Francesco Bidognetti looked at her with absolute disgust, at the woman who had been his partner for so long. She knew she was doomed.
Lei capì che aveva il destino segnato.
Anna doesn't have a choice anymore. If she wants to save herself, she has to leave everything behind and run away.
Her life changed. She had to choose sides. She had to decide whether to abandon her children forever.
Lasciare e abbandonare i suoi figli per sempre.
I drove from Casal di Principe to Caserta, and I cried thinking about my children.
Perché pensavo ai miei figli.
But once I had left Caserta behind and was headed towards Rome, it was as if the gates to paradise were opening up for me.
Anna decides to stay in Rome, but her escape doesn't go unnoticed. Someone is already following her trail. The police have been following her for a long time. They locate her by wiretapping her phone conversations.
She mostly talked to the members of her family, her sister, and her children. She told everyone she wanted to put an end to the kind of life she had led so far.
I used to talk to Teresa and tell her to be careful. My daughter told me to come home and that everything would be okay. I told her I didn't want to see anyone. I was scared someone would hurt me and then hurt my children.
Anna is worried for her younger children, Teresa and Gianluca. She doesn't know they have decided to turn their back on her, just like Katia had.
Quando Anna è andata via da Casal di Principe, all'indomani,
When Anna left Casal di Principe, her family organized a bonfire, a sort of liberating fire, to let everyone know that Anna no longer belonged to the Bidognetti family.
letteralmente fuori dalla vita dei Bidognetti, in maniera plateale.
All her belongings were burned in that fire, to tell everyone that Anna Carrino had been a traitor.
Era stato un infame.
Anna can't count on anyone's help. She's on her own. As time passes, she runs out of money and is forced to blackmail her own family.
She even threatened them. If she didn't get what she wanted, she told them, she would be forced to go to a police station. This would mean the beginning of a collaboration.
But it was her last desperate attempt. After only 20 days, her escape comes to an end. In November 2007, the police decide to arrest her.
She was scared. She probably thought they'd sent someone to catch her and take revenge for what she had done.
As I walked into the room, I was very confused. I was crying because I wanted to know how my kids were. I didn't feel like eating anything. My world had fallen apart. When they present you with an arrest warrant, you know it's over.
Si presenta una donna che fosse proprio in
She had walked in as a totally different person.
molto della sua femminilità. Davvero in grande
She
difficoltà
found herself in great difficulty, and she suffered both physically and mentally.
psicologica. Abbiamo la necessità.
We tried to make her understand that we wanted to help her.
Siamo intenzionati ad aiutarla.
She was a woman with a death
Una
sentence.
donna evidentemente con una condanna a morte.
Antonello Ardituro, the magistrate who is questioning her, is her only chance to save herself. Anna has only one possibility to escape from the clan's revenge.
Thanks to the magistrate's words, she acknowledges her situation. She understands that collaborating is her only way out.
He made me think about my options, and I decided to go for it. He helped me by talking to me and explaining certain things. I'll be grateful to him until the day I die.
Anna decides to collaborate. A decision that the clan considers to be a declaration of war.
Noi dobbiamo pensare che durante il suo percorso di collaborazione
During her collaboration, she suffered heavy blows that would have frightened anyone.
avrebbero potuto far vacillare chiunque. Il clan
The clan tried to kill her sister and her niece.
nipote. La nipote
Her niece was rescued just in time.
Anna isn't intimidated by this. On the contrary, she continues to collaborate even more. Her revelations are a fatal blow to the Casalesi clan.
La collaborazione della convivente
The collaboration of the boss's partner and the end of this code of silence, not only within the clan but also within the boss's close family, is of incredible value.
ha un valore, come dire, straordinario. Questa collaborazione
This collaboration was proof that the clan could actually lose. From a legal point of view, Anna Carrino made a major contribution. She always took part in important trials. It was the beginning of the end for the Casalesi clan.
dei Casalesi.
It had a very strong impact. The collaboration of Bidognetti's wife was a disgrace for him.
Questa collaborazione della moglie. E questo è sempre il grave pericolo.
This woman finds herself in constant danger.
Perché
It couldn't have been easy.
non è
She
facile.
knows that man very well. She knows the dynamics. And she's also aware that she'll never be safe anywhere.
Che non sarà mai sicura da nessuna parte.
Ho fatto una scelta che non me ne pento.
I don't regret my decision. I started working and earning my own money. I really enjoy it.
Mi vivo la mia vita come avrei.
I live my life just like I wanted it to be as a teenager.
Non devo.
I'm not accountable to anyone. The only thing I want in life is regaining my children's trust and being with them again.
I miei figli.
In 2009, Anna Carrino was sentenced to 4 years in prison for Mafia association. In 2012 to 16 years and 8 months for the murder of Antonio Petito, the boy who argued with her son. Considering the mitigation factor due to her collaboration, she's serving her sentence under house arrest. She is currently living under protection in a secret location.